Hello, amateurs. Welcome back to another episode of the Amateur Rugby Podcast, here to help soothe your Sunday morning hangover with some wonderful rugby chat about the grassroots of the game. I'm your host, Tim, and I've got another fantastic guest for you today. This woman has been central to growing a new rugby team at a fantastic pace. So much so that they've got quite a special day lined up as a result. Please welcome Claire Kurpil. Claire, how are you doing?
Hello, I'm very well. Thank you very, very much for having me.
Very, very welcome. Now then, I kind of teased it in the intro though, but what are you and your team up to this Sunday?
Yeah, so this Sunday, the 26th of April, we have been invited to go to, now I want to call it Twickenham, and I know I'm not allowed to, but the Allianz Stadium. We entered a competition a few months ago when we won a chance to play at the stadium as part of that competition. So it's called the Take Over the Stadium, and it's part of their initiative of playing together and staying together. So we were notified about a month ago that we would be attending as a ladies team, and we are taking the whole squad down with us tomorrow morning, bright and early, friends and family, all on a coach to go to Allianz. And I will keep calling it Twickenham. I'm really sorry. And we will be going there and having the full, not hospitality, but the full experience of what the players, obviously the elite players, would experience when they are there.
Absolutely amazing. You must be buzzing. Tell me about the competition itself. Like, how did you find out about it, and why did you enter?
Well, we entered the ladies team. The ladies team is a relatively new setup, so I'm part of Ashby Rugby Club. Ashby Rugby Club, for those that might not know it, is in the Midlands. We've never had a ladies side before, and we're just trying to get our name out there, really. We're just trying to promote, trying to get new females into the club, and anything that we see, we just try and enter, or just try and get that promotion out, of which this RFU post came out. So we entered. We only found out about it a few days. We haven't had a lot of time to plan for it. So in all honesty, I don't know what to expect for tomorrow. We've had a very quick chat with the RFU just to understand logistics and what we will be doing. My understanding is multiple teams apply for the opportunity to do this, and they've selected 8 teams in total. So 4 male teams, 4 female teams. All the other teams are doing contact. It is grassroots rugby, so they try and select players that wouldn't ordinarily have the opportunity to go to Twickenham. So it's about bringing those type of players to Twickenham and allowing them to have that once in a lifetime experience. We are a non-contact side, so Ashby ladies team, as it currently stands, is a non-contact side. So we originally started with touch, very quickly outgrew that, and we are now developing what is now known as T1. So we contacted the RFU to make them aware of that, to say we would love to come, but obviously we are going to be doing non-contact. They're happy to support that. So the other ladies teams that we're going to be playing against are also going to be playing T1 against us. So it'll be the first time that a grassroots, particularly a female grassroots local rugby club, is going to be playing the T1 format at Twickenham. So we're really excited, but also crapping ourselves because we have no idea what to expect. So yeah, all the ladies, I think, aren't going to be sleeping particularly well tonight.
Wonderful stuff. Now, I know the RFU and World Rugby are very keen to promote T1. So just describe that a little bit for me. It's been mentioned on the podcast a couple of times, but just tell me it from your experience. How are you finding T1?
Yeah, so like you just said, it's World Rugby that are promoting the T1, and obviously England Rugby have very recently adopted that style as well and that format. It is very new. We did a call on T1 with the RFU a couple of weeks ago, and the impression that I get is that they are kind of winging it as well. They're not entirely sure themselves. When we were asking them some quite technical questions that our ladies ask when they're playing, we weren't really getting very clear answers, because I don't think they quite know, to be honest. I think World Rugby have been not pushing it, but I think they're the ones that probably have a greater understanding than England Rugby. So from our perspective, we have, I suppose, at times tried to interpret what we think those rules might be. So we think we've got it right, but we're not entirely sure. I'm sure we'll be told tomorrow when we're at Twickenham whether we're doing it right or not. but quite rightly so, the idea and the reason that we are doing the T1 is we have, and I know multiple clubs run touch sessions. So for their non-contact, a lot of clubs do touch. But the touch element is quite basic, I suppose. You're not doing the full technical rules of rugby. So what we've been finding with T1, we've introduced it about 2 months ago, so it is very new for us. So we wanted to bring it in anyway as part of the ladies' initiative to then grow the contact side. But the T1 element is much more like contact, but removing the actual contact. So the technicality side of playing T1, you still do your line outs, you still do your scrums, and trying to learn the technical elements of the T1 is very similar to contact, but we've just removed the contact side. So it's a much nicer way for people who want to either stay in rugby, return to rugby, without the fear of injury, or especially for older generations, we find all manner of people wanting to come in that still want to do rugby but just don't want that contact. So we've found it really successful. People are loving it. So we've obviously had it with the ladies. The ladies are loving it. We've got young girls now joining our team. So the idea, I mean, this is part of probably a much bigger conversation, but the idea for us, yeah, we've got the ladies side, but we very much want to get it out to the young girls as well. And they can be involved. It's not limited to 18-year-olds. You know, we've got a 14-year-old is probably one of our youngest. Men can do it. So we played against some guys on Monday, and it was the first time a lot of those guys had played, and they took to it immediately. They loved the fact that we've still got the technical element. So the flow is very quick. So in practice, it seems to be working really, really well. It'll be interesting to see how it actually plays out tomorrow when we're at Twickenham, because we've only really done it at our rugby club. We haven't gone anywhere else or played competitively against another side because no one else is really doing it yet. So yeah, technically it seems to be working really well. There's a couple of things that I think, I'm not sure that really works, but we make it work. So yeah, it's a really, really good way. Yeah, it's really getting people back into the sport. The men are trying to take it on now as well, and I'm very much going, no, it's the ladies first, and then you can have it. But I think what we'll end up doing as a club is having the ladies do it, the men do it, and a mixed team as well. So we really want to pioneer at Ashby. Lots of people are really interested in this, so we really want to be like that pioneering club, especially with tomorrow as well. As much promotion as we can get, so we can get it out there, so people do start to come back to rugby or stay in rugby.
Yeah, those are two really important things as well.
Yeah,
and what you were saying about understanding the technical side of it, it sounds like it's a very new thing. So there's people, everybody's going to be learning at the same time. So the work you're doing there is almost certainly going to sort of inform the wider game as well, which is great.
Yeah.
Now, tell me a little bit about the preparations you've done for tomorrow. What's the last 2 weeks been like? You know, anything special that you've done?
No, it's just been chaos. So we've done sessions pretty much every day. So we've been trying to practice every single day. So we were at the club all the time anyway, but we're now there just to do the sessions with the ladies. What's been amazing actually. So it's our head coach is a male coach. He's a male coach. And we have a team of females who coach children as well, who are part of our coaching team. So they're kind of running with it, which is lovely to see that they're developing their confidence to be able to run the sessions. So what it's enabled us to do actually, which has been amazing, is for me really to take a little bit of a step back and let them own it. So the sessions are being run by other females now, which is great. And we've just been learning the technicality, basics, you know, like today, I've just left them today. We've done a training session today. We keep trying to take it back to basics because I think sometimes it gets in the head about the technical side of things and I don't want them to fumble it tomorrow. So we're really focusing on basics of playing rugby, trying to do some technical stuff, fitness, working on the fitness side of things, being able to keep up momentum for the matches itself. For tomorrow's format are 20-minute matches with no half time. And we do have different levels of fitness within the team, so we have to factor that in as well. So, working on fitness, working on the basics, trying to get the technicals right if we can, trying to play against other people. So it was great when we've played against some of the kids at the club or husbands and partners, and we've seen a different element to the male side of playing as well. All of a sudden they're kicking, which we haven't been doing because we've not been doing that in touch, and we've only just started doing that in T1. And all of a sudden we were playing against a group of junior boys that use that to their advantage, and we were like, okay, right, now we need to practice how we defend against that, because it's not something we'd factored in. So it's been a hell of a 2 weeks. I'm absolutely exhausted, and as much as I'm looking forward to tomorrow, I'm very much looking forward to Monday and having a bit of a break for a few days. So yeah, a lot of prep work, trying to get outfits sorted. We all want to be in the same outfits, the after outfits as well. Our senior men have shirts and ties, so I've been trying to organise the shirts and ties so we all look in formation. So a lot of prep work, getting the coach sorted, getting the families on board, and yeah, it's been a bit of a roller coaster these last couple of weeks.
Now, again, something I teased in the intro, like, this is a really new team. How long's the team been around, and how did it get started in the first place?
So we formed in June last year. So Ashby Rugby Club, we've got 2 senior male sides and we've got a vet side. We have just a social touch group, and we have a very large age grade section, and we also have a girls section, but we've never had a ladies section. I sit on the committee at the club, as does my husband, and we decided last year we're looking at strategies of what we want to do to evolve the club, and one of which was a pathway for our girls. So at the moment, what we're finding for our girls section is they get to a point where they're then having to leave because they haven't got a female senior pathway for them to go into. So that's how it kind of came about originally. I'm massively into my health and fitness as well. So I do a lot of health and fitness, and that's something that I'm dead passionate about and love. So in a very drunken conversation, we were sat over a bottle of red wine saying, right, what should we do next then? What's our next plan with the club? And it was to set up it was a bit woolly. We were like, let's just roll with it. Let's just put a post out there to say, have you played rugby? Have you never played rugby? It's open to anyone of any level of fitness. Come along. Let's see what we can do. We'll play a bit of touch. We'll do a bit of fitness. And put a post out just to see if we had any interest. And we did, which was great. Obviously, I was trying to promote my female friends, thinking that on our very first session, we'd have a lot of my female friends turn up and it'd end up being a bit of a social with them. And we actually found that the social media post went out, and we had quite a few people turn up completely unrelated to the club. Some of them had never done any fitness before. So that was great. We did our first session, and it's just grown from there. So we very quickly realised that it was something really special. Everyone was enjoying the session. So we kind of just listened to the ladies team, really. We're very social anyway. We're very inclusive. We love the community feel. We're all about family, getting everybody involved. And we just listened to what they wanted as a female side, really. So we've just evolved it from there. So we've gone from, we've now got, because obviously you will lose players. We've lost some players to injuries. We've lost, I think it's only really been injuries, to be fair. We've had a couple that turned up, it hasn't really been their thing, but we've predominantly kept everybody from the start, and we now have registered who regularly turn up. We've now got 25 who are there all the time. We're getting new people join every week, and yeah, we've always reflected and gone, right, we're now at this stage, what do we want this to go to next? So we were doing the touch. I very much want to develop into contact as well, so it's not just going to remain a T1 side. We need to have the contact element as well, so we've still got that pathway for people to go into. So we've got a 3-year strategy now as to how do we want that to look, and how can we encourage more females to come into the game. So there'll be 2 different elements that people can join. And then, yeah, it's just evolved from there, really. You know, I thought it would just be something that people would want to come and do as fitness, and no, these females have just embraced it, absolutely love it, and it's just great. We welcome new people all the time, and the new ones that seem to be turning up don't leave either, so that's always a good sign.
So what I'm hearing is that you're very consciously listening to the players and finding out where they want to go next, and obviously being a bit strategic as well with yourself in terms of thinking we do want a full team at some point. But what are some of the tactics around that then that you're using to get more players to come in? Are there any sort of things that you've done to help that
Yeah.
growth?
Word of mouth. I mean, one of the biggest thing for us, we went through a real period of time where we didn't really promote it at all. It was word of mouth. Our ladies who are part of the team are so passionate about it. They pass the word on, and they just bring someone else from work, or someone else hears about it through someone else. It's very much been word of mouth at the moment. We've pushed the social side, but our focus now we've kind of got the core team. I mean, our team varies in age, fitness levels, all manner of things, but we do really want to focus on the girls element now, and how we bring in the girls into this. So we've done a bit of feedback with I've got a teenage daughter myself. I mean, we're a massive rugby family. My little boy plays, and my daughter has never played before. So she's just not interested. She doesn't want to do contact. She plays netball, but she now has joined us. So it's been really interesting to watch her. I've kind of not got too involved because I want to see how it works with having younger girls play amongst the team. So my daughter's come into it, bless her. And she absolutely loves it. She loves the technical side. She loves rugby anyway, but it's removed that contact. So I'm now thinking how we can get this into schools. So we're in conversations with the RFU at the moment about how we can deliver this in schools, so we can be much more inclusive of our younger girls as well. We find as a club, girls in particular, when they get to the age where they're removed from playing alongside the younger lads, we lose them at that age, because they either have thoroughly enjoyed playing with the younger lads, or puberty hits and they just lose that element of confidence with going into contact. And we really want to remove that barrier as well. We don't want to replace contact sport in any way, shape or form, but we do want to have an alternative pathway to keep those younger girls in as well. So we're doing quite a lot of work at the moment about trying to get into schools so we can teach the teachers how to teach it themselves. We found when we've been contacting our local secondary schools that the teachers are underconfident with how to deliver rugby sessions because of the contact element, and obviously health and safety, and where we are nowadays with health and safety, there's a reluctance to want to do it. So we really need to get into those schools and get the RFU involved to teach out those teachers how to deliver the sessions. And if it's T1, then that's great. We just want to get that message out there that rugby is inclusive. It's not about getting punched in the face and constantly being injured, and it's just ways of how we develop that, really. So yeah, we'll just continue to just do what we're doing, I suppose, and just get the social media out there. We've got we have like it's called the Ashby Show, but we've been asked to go there where the footfall is like Leicestershire, so thousands and thousands of people will be going there. So we're going to do a demonstration of just what T1 is there, really. So we can do a bit of massive promotional event there. We do local sports day. Ashby, de la Zouche, where I'm from, is quite a big sports town anyway. We've got a lot of football clubs, tennis, cricket and everything else. So as a community, we do a sports day and all those clubs come together. So again, that's a really good place to promote for the schools, the younger girls, the females, the males, the seniors. We all get involved. So yeah, we'll continue to just keep pushing, really, and just smile on my face and just keep doing what we're doing. So
Claire, it sounds like you're doing amazing work there, and I'm really happy about what you said about making sure that you encourage the fact that there's always going to be a contact option as well.
100%,
because I'm a fan of all kinds of rugby, but I want not at the expense of contact rugby. Like T1's great, there's a place for that, but not at the expense of contact rugby. Like, so hearing you say you definitely want both, that is great as far as I'm concerned. That's exactly right. Now, tell me a bit about you, Claire. How did you get into the game in the first place?
Oh, okay. Well, I've never played any form of sport ever in my life. I am married to a guy who's into rugby, and he's been born and bred Ashby, and he's always been part of Ashby Rugby Club. So we've been a part of the club for 20 plus years. Obviously, as a mum with a son who likes to play, my husband coaches my son and that age group, and I was asked to join the committee. So Ashby Rugby Club as all clubs do, have a committee. So I was asked to actually join as club secretary. So I started there, and then I've taken on lots of different roles. I'm just very passionate about the club and what we're doing as a club. The club itself it's evolving very, very quickly. And I just have a real love for the club. So as part of our strategic plan and what we're looking at as expanding as a club, the female section is something that I then thought I'd like to start developing myself. And I'm in a very good position being on the senior management committee to be able to push that message as well. So that's, I suppose, how it all came about, really. Just thinking, right, I'm in a very unique position that I've got an opportunity to be able to push this and get the support. So from our directors and senior management, got a lot of support there that are really wanting us to push this and get the ladies involved in rugby and just get us out there. I suppose the problem we have, as you can imagine, lots of problems amongst the club. We have a lot of other local clubs around us, so we're constantly competing against them as well, which makes it incredibly challenging. We just need to have a plan in place as to how we deal with that. So, yeah,
absolutely. Well, listen, Claire, your passion absolutely shines through, and it sounds like the club's doing quite nicely as well, because you're hosting the Leicestershire County Finals today as we speak.
Yeah, we are. Yeah, so it's been a really busy season for the club, actually. So we've got a lot going on with all of the sections of the club. So we've very recently expanded the club. So we've just gone from strength to strength, really. And we've very recently just extended and expanded the club. So we've gone much more strategic in what we're trying to achieve now. So we ultimately, as a committee, we want to keep the rugby as the grassroots. That's what we are there. We are a rugby club, and we've got so many other things going on as well. Really trying to work with the community, other sports clubs. So as a club, we try and make sure that we can help other sports. So we have loads of football clubs around us, and some that don't have homes themselves. So we'll support them coming and using our facility. We have the hockey team come to us as well. So we really want to really push the multifunctional purpose of the club. We're very fortunate that we have such massive grounds and great facilities for people to be able to use. So we're very, very much wanting to make sure that we support that process as well. So lots going on all the time. We're hosting county cups. We do that for the age grade as well. It's very, very busy a lot of the time. So, yeah.
Well, that sounds wonderful. It sounds like you're trying to almost be the centre of the community, which I think is what all grassroots clubs really should strive to try and be.
Yeah, we try to. Yeah, we do try to. It's difficult. It takes time. Everything takes time. You've just got to make sure that you've got your head in the right spot, I suppose, and that people know who you are, and just get your face out there so people know to come to us if they've got any queries or any questions, or if they need any help with anything. We're very much a side that myself in particular, I want to help the sports. We had a local team contact us recently, just to make us aware that they were going to lose their age grade section. And I was really disappointed that club had got to that point. So they'd actually contacted us to say, we have got age grade. Would you consider us coming over to you and bringing what is left of our age grade section? And actually, both myself and my husband sat there and said, that would be great for us. Obviously, we'd get the numbers, but how can we help them to keep their age grade section? We don't want to see clubs folding. We're not here to try and steal players or anything else. We should be encouraging new, not trying to compete against somebody else. So, we're very, very community focused. We want sports to be out there. My background is I'm a nurse, so I'm very much into my health and well-being. I'm very much into making sure that people look after their health and well-being. So first and foremost is getting people fit, getting people into their fitness. And I suppose that caring side as well, and my natural instinct to want to help, is very much probably to my detriment at times, because not everyone has the same mentality as me. But it's more about getting out there and working with other clubs and just making sure there's a place for all of us. We're all at different levels. Our female side might not be at the same level as a local competitor, but I wouldn't want to compete against them, because that's not who we are. We're not at that level. Or there's a place for all manner of rugby, seniors, age grade, and we should be looking to promote that and working as a community.
Absolutely. Fantastic stuff. Now, there must be, aside from being super busy, which is very clear, what are some of the other challenges that maybe you've come across with, including other clubs and other sport within the rugby section?
Yeah, yeah, it is a challenge. It's, I suppose, having different characters. I suppose this is much more on a personal level, I suppose. Being a nurse, you find that you work within the nursing or the medical sector with like-minded people. Everyone tends to go into that career because you've all got a very similar characteristic or personality. So it's interesting to then do this where I've got absolutely no experience in running a rugby club or I've never managed a team. I've never even played a team sport up until now. So it's been really interesting to do something completely out of my comfort zone. But equally interesting to see how I work with different characters and different individuals. And that's probably one of the biggest challenges is the characters that you have to work alongside, to have a collaborative approach in a constructive way. And I suppose that's a challenge, is that everyone's got an opinion. Everyone wants to do things a particular way, and it's managing people's expectations. You have to be quite thick-skinned. A lot of the time you hear the negatives rather than the positives. People always have a voice and an opinion all of a sudden. If it's something bad, it's never the good stuff. So there are a lot of challenges. You do have to be thick-skinned, and I suppose that's probably one of my weaknesses, is that it's not a natural instinct for me to be in a position where I'm having to fight for something, and get negative feedback. It's not I'm not used to it, so I suppose I take it quite personally. So it's a lot of, on a personal perspective, I have to have a lot of mental resilience and and know how to deal with some complicated characters as well. Keeping volunteers, it's really difficult to keep the volunteers engaged. Grassroots rugby, we do have paid staff, so we have to pay obviously bar staff. We have a club steward who's amazing, but everything else is all volunteer based, and that's a real challenge, and again something I'm not quite used to. And it's how you encourage those volunteers and how you retain those volunteers, and that's a difficulty. We end up finding that it's always the same volunteers doing the same thing, and sometimes we're probably not very good at rewarding those volunteers equally. And the politics as well, it puts people off wanting to get involved and get engaged because they don't want to be involved in politics, because it is a volunteer organisation. So when you are busy with family and work and everything else, it's difficult to get those people in who want to actually get involved and help, I suppose.
The volunteer thing is very important, and it's the thing you've just said there is very common across almost every rugby club. So it's an ongoing challenge, and I'm always interested to find out what people are doing. What successes have you found in the volunteer space? Have you done anything where you've gone, oh, that really worked, we need to sort of double down on that?
No. No, I don't. Yeah, no, I don't think we do that well at all, unfortunately.
Right.
Yeah, that needs improvement. We definitely need improvement on that. I don't know what the answer is. Interestingly, I don't know if you've heard of it, but there's a women's leadership program that the RFU are funding, and I entered that, and I got onto that women's leadership program, which has been amazing. So it involves like face-to-face conferences for weekends and things, and that's been a really interesting experience. I don't know how many of us in total there are, but it's basically females in quite senior positions within grassroots rugby community. And interestingly, when you're listening to those females, generally speaking, they're either refs or chairperson, secretaries in grassroots rugby. Everyone has the same issues, and the volunteers come up a lot. And when you're listening to these group of females, it's always the same issues, and it's the volunteers, the recruitment, the retention. So I'm taking a lot from that series, that women's leadership series. It's great to go to and speak to other clubs and be able to have a forum where we all talk about different experiences and what works and what doesn't work. And in all honesty, I don't know what the answer is. I'm trying to find that answer, and I don't know what that is. I found, again, on a personal level, with the volunteers, a lot of the people who have volunteered have been friends of mine and have done it because I've asked. And that's not really how it should work. So I don't know what the answer is. I think it's hard. I find it hard. I wear the hat of club secretary, volunteer coordinator, ladies captain and manager. My whole family get involved in rugby, and I get deflated all the time with just pushback and comments. And I often think, why am I doing this? Why am I doing this? I'd love to just turn up at a rugby club and go and play and not have to be dealing with the day-to-day stuff. So I feel like, I suppose, if I'm questioning that, and I'm somebody who's so passionate and absolutely loves the club, and if I question that, surely other people are going to be thinking the same. And I don't know what the answer is. I genuinely don't know what the answer is. I don't know how to. I've done volunteer courses through the RFU, and it's difficult, I think.
Yeah, one of the things you mentioned earlier is the fact that it seems to be that the same volunteers are doing the same work time after time after time, and eventually they get burnt out, which is such
absolutely.
a pity.
Yeah.
Having more conversations about it, I guess, is one of the best ways to hopefully try and find solutions as a group.
Yeah, and just as a rugby community, I suppose, it's not just about Ashby Rugby Club, it's about all the communities. You know what? It's great to talk to other clubs. I love talking to other clubs. I love that about rugby, is like you're part of the rugby community. You're not just part of Ashby Rugby Club or where the other rugby clubs are from. You're part of one community, and that's one thing I'm really passionate about, is when you play rugby, you can walk into any rugby club and strike up a conversation with anyone, and everyone's welcome. Kids, females, everybody's welcome. And I love that approach, that you can talk to other clubs, share experiences. There's no kind of animosity or anything within the rugby community. So I think just keep sharing those experiences with different clubs to see what works, what doesn't work. But I think you need the right people in the right place. I think you do, to keep the momentum going and to help a club expand, evolve, and keep going. I suppose you do need the right people in the right roles to be able to encourage that. So that is a big thing as well. But yeah, I don't know what the answer is with the volunteers, unfortunately.
Let's move back to your team and the team nickname, because I think it's absolute genius. So explain how that came about.
So we are Ashby Rugby Club is the Bulls. So we discussed about having not our own identity, because we adopt an approach of, it's a one club approach. So that's been one of our biggest passions, is making sure it's not just a senior males team, it's a one club, everyone's part of that. So we don't want to have our own identity, but we wanted to have something that was just different to the Bulls, because I don't necessarily feel like the Bulls is great for us female side. Originally, so I was told that the female equivalent of a bull is a heifer. So we thought, well, that's probably not very encouraging for females to want to join the heifers. So we vetoed that name, and came up with the Bullets, which I believe the Bullets is a French female version of the cow, I want to say. I'm sure someone said that at one point, but I'm not entirely sure. So I think that's what it was. And the spelling of it, we all sat down as a team. So it was always a collaborative approach to what the name was. It's not me picking it or anything else. And we all sat down and we wrote out lots of different versions of it to see actually what it looked like and if it worked well. So we came up with the Bullets. So yeah, we kind of have our own identity, but we're still very much under the umbrella of Ashby Rugby, the Bulls. So we wear our T-shirts, which has got the Bullets on, but our shorts are still branded with the Bulls as well. And we're still one club and still have that one club approach. But we certainly didn't feel that the Heifers was the right the right message we wanted to get out to the females in the community. So we are the Bullets.
I think that's a very, very wise choice there. Very wise choice there. Okay, what about the future? So obviously you've got this amazing day coming up on Sunday, which I wish you all the best for. I hope you have a fantastic time. But beyond that, what are you looking to try and achieve?
So for me, it's all about community. On a personal level, I just want to get females into health and fitness and just get people to, females in particular. The biggest thing is making sure that any female can come along to a session, put on a pair of boots and just get fit and run around with like-minded people. So that's I suppose my personal objective. But as a team, obviously we've got our 25 ladies who are registered and continuing to expand. We will continue with the T1 format. So we're very much I really want to push that. I really want it to be out there. The difficulty we have is because it's so new, we haven't actually got anyone to play. So that's something that we need to kind of recognise, and I suppose the RFU needs to recognise, is that how do we now, as a team and as a passionate team, we can see this is working really well. How do we get that out to other clubs so we can start thinking about how we play that? So that, from a T1 element, is very much something that I want to push. Equally, we want to look at the contact side. So we are gradually starting to introduce that. Of the ladies that we've got, some of them want to do contact and some don't, and that's fine. We don't want to discourage one way or the other, but we do want to develop that contact side. So certainly going into next season, we've treated this season as very much, let's just suck it and see. Let's see what works. Let's see what doesn't work. Going into next season is going to be much more structured. We're going to have a 3-year strategy to enable our girls to come through as well into that pathway. So as part of that, we'll be introducing the contact with our existing ladies and just getting them into it. I love our ladies, and some of them are saying they don't want to do contact, but I wonder whether or not once they're faced with that situation, they'll absolutely love it and want to get into it. So I'm hoping that might be the case as well. So we will certainly start running the contact and the T1 alongside each other. We'll all still fall under the umbrella of the Bullets, so don't want it to be one or the other. The ladies section need to own that section as a collaborative approach, not just one or the other. So we will start to look at the contact side. In terms of our girls, at the moment we have a girls section. It's small and it's in collaboration with other local clubs. It was already formed when I suppose I got into this, so it's difficult to kind of get them at this stage into the ladies side, but certainly in the future for the next 3 years we've got some amazing girls in our minis section who will be coming up through the fold. Some of our ladies coach those age groups as well, so the plan is to get those coached for the ladies so they can bring up those girls into the junior section and then into the ladies section. So there's a lot of behind the scenes work going on to just keep the momentum going and really just continue to grow and build. I don't want to be in a position where we're losing our girls and they're getting to a certain point where they're not wanting to do it, or we haven't got a pathway for them that they're going into. It just takes time. I get asked the questions all the time, and it's like, I think people think it's a very quick fix and it just happens overnight, and it really doesn't. And rather than just looking at what's going to happen in the next 6 months, we need to be planning for what it's going to look like in the next 3 to 5 years. So there's a lot of work that's going on behind the scenes, and obviously we're going to be involving the ladies in all the conversations that we're having. On very much, my motto is transparency and making sure that everyone's on board with the same process. Otherwise it just won't work. It can't be one person dictating. It's got to be a collaborative approach. So we'll sit down with them after Twickenham. We've also got tour coming up as well, so we need to get tour out of the way. So once that's happened, as a collective team, we'll sit down and go, right, going into next season, we probably need to think about lots of different things and how are we going to move this forward as a team. So yeah, lots of stuff going on behind the scenes, and a great opportunity for the club and just for women in sport, girls in sport in general, really.
Amazing, Claire. It sounds like you're doing brilliant things there. So that's brilliant. Let's move on to the stash section of the show now. So what is your favourite kit of all time? So this can be any team, any era.
Yeah. So my favourite kit, as in our kit or any kit? I've got a really unusual response to this. So I love a good tour top. So I do love a good tour top. So we take our tours very, very seriously, especially in the age grade section. And the ladies are taking it very seriously as well. It's our first tour, so we're going as Barbie themed. But I didn't pick that. So we do like a good tour top. So we change the themes every year. So all our tours that we do, it's always a different theme, and we all design the tops, and yeah, we all get our tour tops. So I do love a good tour top. And what I would say, so I was thinking about this last night, what is my favourite top? And I'm a Leicester Tigers fan, so we've got season tickets for Leicester Tigers, so we go to Leicester Tigers a lot. I'm not particularly keen on the colours of Leicester Tigers, but they did one year a shirt, and I hope I'm allowed to say this, but they did one year where they've got a shirt which looked like it had got cannabis plants on. It was either last season or the season before. And it just, when you look at it at a glance, you think, that looks like a cannabis plant all over the shirt. So I must say, when my little boy, who was 10 or 11 years old at the time, was wearing said shirt, I used to look at him thinking, not so sure that's a good promotion, but I like it. So, yeah, that was probably be one of my favourite tops. Is the cannabis plant that I think was probably a little bit of a poor design on Leicester Tigers front. So yeah, that would be taught.
Wonderful.
Yeah, definitely.
Love the detail. Okay, what about awful kits? Are there any kits out there that you really dislike?
Yeah, I'm going to have a bit of a gripe about this. So, obviously, I know that clubs get to choose their own suppliers, but what I have found as a ladies' side is that the kit that we get, especially at grassroots, especially trying to keep the cost down as well. You don't want to be spending excessive amounts on kit. The sizing is absolutely shocking for females. It's been really difficult to actually do the kit for the female teams. And it's very much designed for guys rather than women, which has been a real shame. So I've just sorted out all the kit now, and it's just things like the terminology of the sizing, like 5XL, 4XL, 3XL. It's not great, and I don't think that helps. I've had to say to quite a few of our ladies when we've been doing the kit sizing, it's not been a collective thing. I've said to them, message me and tell me what your sizing is, so you're not having to post it like on a big group or anything like that. And they're really disheartened when they're having to come to me and say, oh my God, I'm this, and I didn't think I was that. And I have to keep saying, it's not you, it's just the sizing, and that's just how the rugby kits seem to come up. So I get really frustrated with that. So I think, if I'm brutally honest, the kit that I dislike the much is probably our own kit, because I don't think the sizing's particularly great. It doesn't really look nice either. So that would be a big gripe of mine, is that I think we need to be looking at that with females in sports. One of the things I really want to introduce is a skort. So I don't know if you know what a skort is, but it's like a skirt with shorts underneath. Quite common with like girls at school and like tennis and things like that. And I love a good skort because I think it's much more flattering for females, and you've still got the shorts underneath. So I think in contact probably isn't ideal, but certainly in T1 or touch or any other formats that isn't a contact, I think skort should be the way forward, really. So we were looking at doing it for our tour, but it just came up a little bit too expensive for tour. So we haven't actually gone down that route yet, but I am going to try and push us all having a good skort.
Sounds like a great idea, and well done for bringing that up as well in terms of the kit overall. I believe it's something they fixed at the elite level of the game now in terms of women's sizing and fits. But absolutely, it needs to be rolled out, across the board
sure. Really, with all the suppliers, because there are a lot of suppliers out there. It's like overwhelming with the amount of suppliers that are coming through. So
absolutely. Okay, last stash question, and this is the favourite bit of stash that you've ever received. So this could be something that you've earned or whatever, or somebody's gifted to you, something like that.
I've never had anything like that. I've never had any stash. The whole time I've been doing what I do, not even just the ladies' side, but anything like that. No, I've never had any stash. So, which is really sad, isn't it?
That is really sad. Somebody needs to fix that immediately.
I know. No, I've never. I'll feel really bad if I have, and I can't remember. So if anyone is listening to this and you have given me something and I can't remember, I am really sorry. But as I can recall, I've got no recollection of ever having any stash. Ever.
Have you never swapped a shirt on tour or something like that?
Nope. No, never swapped. No, never done that. No, I can't. I've never received stash. So
wow,
I do it for the love, not the stash. So if we can rectify that would be great. Yeah.
Okay, amazing. Okay, we'll bring this to an end now, Claire. It's been fantastic talking to you and hearing about all the amazing things that you're doing. But just closing thoughts, anything you want to say about Ashby and your women's section or anything else?
Oh, yeah, probably not Ashby itself, more the ladies, because that's obviously what we're here to talk about. And I suppose because they will all listen to this, and I'm very aware it's my voice that is kind of representing them. So to each and every one of them that is going to listen to this back, what I will say is that I am so incredibly proud of what they have done. It's not me. I'm there to facilitate, and I'm there to encourage. I'm not the best player by any stretch of the imagination, it's them and it's the team that makes us who we are. It's not me. It's not head coach. It's them. So I am so humbled and proud by each and every single one of them. They turn up each week. They've got a smile on their face. They come from different backgrounds. We all leave our identities at the gate when we go into Ashby Rugby Club, and we all come together and we are one team. We recognise as a team we're only as strong as our weakest players. We include everybody regardless of age, fitness, ability. We don't care. We are there as a team, and those women are amazing. I've watched, especially older generation of ladies who have come, who have never played before, were nervous, underconfident, not sure what to expect. And I watch them and just think, you are amazing. You picked up a skill for life, friends for life. And I would say to each and every one of them, and for future members, if anyone else wants to join, that they all are the family I never realised I needed. And I absolutely adore each and every one of you. And we just need to keep doing what we're doing because they are amazing. So more on a personal note to those wonderful humans that I have had the great pleasure in getting to know and who fully support me. And I know I've been a nightmare leading up to Twickenham trying to get everything sorted. And if it wasn't for the love that they give and the support, we wouldn't be doing it. So, yeah. And any females thinking of joining, anyone inspired by this, and it doesn't even have to be female, it could be a man. If you're a male sat there thinking, I absolutely miss the rugby world and I don't do it because I'm injured or I don't feel physically I can do it, contact your local club. You never know, they might have a pathway for you to go back into. I'm dead passionate, as it probably comes across, or at least I hope it comes across. If anyone's listening to this and they think, I really want to introduce this into my club, or I just want a bit of guidance on how you've done this, I'm happy for people to contact me. I'm extremely passionate about rugby in general, but obviously particularly my wonderful ladies who make up our lovely bullets. But yeah, if any club wants any assistance, help, guidance, anything like that, I am more than happy to get involved. Grassroots rugby, we don't want to lose it as a community. We want to keep it on the board. We want to keep it going. Rugby's amazing, and it's just growing and growing again. And we don't want to lose that.
For sure. Now, Claire, if people do want to get hold of you, and I'm sure they will, what is the best way for them to do?
God knows, we had this conversation before I came on. I'm not very good with all the techie stuff. So there's a variety of different ways you can get hold of us. I know Tim's going to include some of the links to Instagram and things like that. You can go through just our very basic website, which is obviously www.ashbyrfc.co.uk. If you go through that, you can find the contacts. I think my email address might even be the main contact email address on the website. So you can email me directly, or you can go through our website. We have a Facebook page, Ashby RFC via Facebook, and the Bullets actually have our own Instagram page. Again, I'm not tech savvy. I don't really do much with Instagram, but they have told me that it's at Ashby Bullets. So BULLETTES. But I know Tim's going to put a lot of the links on so people can contact me if they want to.
People listening at home, I will link absolutely everything up in the show notes down below, so you can just go and find them there at amateurrugbypodcast.com. Just leaves me to say, Claire, brilliant work that you're doing. I've loved our chat today. I hope you and the Bullets have a fantastic day on Sunday. So thank you very much.
Lovely. Thank you.
Okay. Amazing. Brilliant, Claire. There she goes. That's really inspiring, isn't it? The amount of passion and effort that's gone into that, and just being there and listening to the players and finding out what they want can just help a side grow. And they must be doing something really great there if the players are just bringing more and more people in. So fantastic work. Absolutely love that. Now, if you've loved this podcast, you can do all the social media stuff. You can follow, share, subscribe. But what I'd really like is if you mention it to someone in person the next time you're down your local rugby club. So until then, get out and play.